What's the timeline for that? Getting the green premium down to a reasonable level. If this is successful, if some of these projects do prove themselves, are we talking about 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20?
At least a few of them, given the breakthrough technologies being developed, you know, green hydrogen could get down to a very low price within 3 or 4 years. Sustainable aviation fuel, there's quite a few approaches there. The one that's the hardest is direct air capture, because that mainly has an environmental benefit. It's not a product, like the other three are. And so that one, I'd say it's over the next 10 years that we need to drive that down. But the other three, I'd be very disappointed if we don't see a dramatic reduction in the green premium, even in less than 5 years, because that should let us do 2 rounds of projects. The first projects, and then take the learning from those first 2.5 years and do a second round that will bring the cost down even further. And the government's, a lot of that money that's being allocated has to be spent in a defined time period. And so, getting Catalyst going now is very, very timely. We need this private sector engagement. And in some ways, these private sector companies we have represent such a depth of expertise that it's going to be easy for the governments to benefit from that, as opposed to going to each company individually.
Eric, I would add one thing.
Please.
Once the technology or a project shows commercial application that we could actually fundamentally bring down the green premium, the amount of private capital that would be running towards these projects would be enormous. The amount of capital that's standing by right now looking to put money to work in these types of strategies is enormous. Now we need to make sure that we're proving it. We need to make sure that it's reliable and we can build it. And so I'm not frightened about where the money's coming from. I just want to make sure that we have the science and technology and the viability. Once we know that, the capital will be there.
Is that just ESG money, or is that any risk-seeking capital, regardless of what the people behind it think about climate risk?
I would say within 5 years, climate is just going to be another risk factor across all investing. We may not even have ESG investing anymore, because ESG is just another risk characteristic of like everything else we have. And so I would say all investors, where they see an opportunity to invest in projects that will transform a society that has great upside, the amount of capital will be there. Right now, I'm talking about more of its ESG capital, but I'm very confident if we can prove the technology and the technology works, if we bring down in a substantive way the green premium, the capital will be there. And I don't care how we define the capital. It'll be capital seeking opportunities to make a good risk-adjusted return for the investors.